G'day, comrade, and welcome back to the Republic with me, GD. In our last episode, we spent the whole episode, the absolute entirety of the episode, working on, well, setting up coal production for our new steel mills that also require iron. So today's episode, we're going to be doing the other half. We're going to be doing the iron half, also we're going to be doing the steel half. I want to get the whole lot mixed in one episode because a lot of today is going to be repeating what we did last time. Just, pretty much the same with, a little bit different after we get to the back end, after we actually get to steel. So let's jump through this as quickly as possible. I also should mention that we're going to keep the game paused the whole time. Main reason I need to keep the game paused is, well, if you haven't seen it already, I'm suffering a little bit of computer problems. I have, a shot motherboard with a shot CPU. So I can run the game, I just can't run the game and the game go forward at the same time. So I'm taking the chance, whilst I have the downtime, to at least do what we can and get the planning done, which means we're going to get today's episode. But not before I ask the important question. And of course, the important question is, can I borrow a like? I just like to borrow a like. I like to borrow a like early in the video. If you're not happy with the video, you didn't enjoy the video, I have to warn you, I just ordered $1,200 worth of new parts so I could get back up and running as soon as possible because I didn't want to wait for the warranties to happen because I got told they're going to take 2 weeks worth of turnaround, which means 2 weeks worth of no videos. So I'd really, really like to borrow that like. So today, we need to start with iron. We have an iron mine right here. I don't have sound. I need to unpause. Do I have sound now? I have sound. I have sound. Cool. All right. We unpaused for half a second. The game didn't crash. The PC didn't crash. That's all that matters. All right. First off, I need an iron mine. We're going to having an iron mine face towards the left because I need to get the iron ore out of this. And the iron mine, we should double check, is going to need 250 workers. That's the first number we need to keep in our heads. I need 250 workers to make the iron mine actually work. On top of that, it's going to produce 17.5 tons worth of waste, and it's going to produce fire of 4 tons worth of iron ore per worker. Now, as my source, yep, I know, the sign says iron. As my source is 69%, nice. We should get out 4 tons per worker. If I have 250 workers in here at 100%, I get out 1,000 tons. Because it's 69%, I'm going to get about 700 tons worth of iron ore, even though it's still going to produce the 17 tons worth of trash. So the very first thing I want to do is pop this down, and then I want to deal with the trash half of this. So the trash half of this is going to be very, very similar to what we did up here. We're going to have a dump with claw machine, which I need to put somewhere, and I also need to make sure I have access to get the road connection out. The rail connection we're not going to need, but I definitely need the road connection, so I'm going to drop you right about there. As for the trash, we're going to be jumping into a incinerator power plant, because I might as well get some free power out of this if I can, and I need to face you sort of this direction. There's probably going to be a whole lot of moving things bit by bit. That's why we're going to have this whole episode is going to be full of jump cuts. I'll warn you in advance because there's going to be a lot of this needs to move just slightly left or slightly right so I can get a road through here or something through here or something through there. But if I put an incinerator there, the incinerator can burn at maximum production. It can burn 60 tons worth of mixed waste. So that should be able to clear up all the waste from the iron mine and then some. We're going to find the sum shortly, but it should get rid of everything and then some. Next, I want a dump. I want a medium dump, and we're going to be putting you here plugged into this factory connection. I need to flip you. I don't need the other factory connection, so we're going to delete that in half a second, but I need to sort of squeeze you in here. Cool. I need to hope like hell that we can still access this. I can. Good. That's all that matters. And then we need to go back to trash because what's going to happen is the incinerator is going to burn, in theory, everything. It won't quite burn everything. There will be some residuals that come out of it. My iron mine produces mixed waste. It clearly says right there that it can store up to 93 tons worth of mixed waste. But I have a feeling, as it's an iron mine, we're not going to get mixed waste out. I have a feeling we're going to get 2 different types of waste, same as we did with the coal plant. The coal plant gives us mixed waste, which is just mixed, and then it also gives us construction waste. I'm willing to bet that our iron mine is going to do the same, so we need a general separator. Now, my general separator, I need to put... Oh, really? You want to line up straight away? I'll take it. I want to put you... Please work. Please work. Please work. Come on. You were there. About there. Okay. Yeah, that's not gonna work. All right. I said there were lots of moving things around bit by bit. All right. General separation. I need the road connection. Yeah, because I need to get the other waste in back here. Come on. No, a little bit more. Okay. I need this dump. Flip. All right. This is going to be our final output. Okay. You need to move. All right. Let's start again. We need a dump with claw machine railway. The only reason we're using the railway version is it happens to store the most amount of trash. That's really all it comes down to. We're going to put you here, and I'm going to get the biggest zigzag on that line as possible, so it's the furthest out of the way. Then I'm going to put the road connection at the top, and I need to move you as far forward as possible. You might end up over here. We'll find out in the final picture when I get further built. All right, then we need to have a general separation. General separation, I need to face this way, and I need to hope that I can plug in both those factory connections. I think that will work. Okay, cool. Then I also need to get this to plug into there. Beautiful. Okay, so the general separator. The general separator, what it's going to do is it's going to take in our mixed waste, and it'll take anything it can out of the mixed waste. So if it has construction waste, we'll get 65% of that construction waste will get pulled out, and the rest of it will turn into other waste, mixed waste. It just basically deletes it. Well, it doesn't delete it. It changes its category from actual construction waste, where it's somewhat useful, to just waste, where it's just not useful. Also, it'll do the same for the metal scrap. Metal scrap I'll have to come back to, because I also need to get a metal scrap plant in somewhere. Yes, somewhere. All right, so you're going to push waste out to, you're going to push out the gravel, the construction waste to here, which will then join from this general separator and go that way and get turned to gravel, and then finally turn to concrete. So this is our step one. This should deal with our waste. Now, I said I needed 250 workers to run the iron mine, plus I now need to run the incinerator, another 20 workers, and for the general separator, I need another 50 workers. So we have 250 plus 50 plus 20 is 320 workers so far. But that hasn't got us to the next step, and the next step is iron ore processing. So I need to have iron ore processing, and I need to have 4 of these. 4 of these will process 225. Each one of these will process 225 tons of iron ore, and I'm going to choose to build 4 of them. In theory, I have about 700 tons worth of iron ore per day, but I'm going to intentionally build a little bit extra, just a tiny bit extra, because they're going to have some sort of downtime when the machines go in for repair, and I want to make sure that at the end I can have that throughput of 700 tons worth of actual iron ore, which then we need to convert to iron, which is then going to basically halve it, pretty much. But I'm going to need 4 of these. 4 of these need another 15 workers each, so that's another 60 workers on our 330, which brings up to 390 workers. Plus, each one of these is going to have a maximum garbage output production of another 6.8 tons. We'll call it 7 tons for round figures, which is another 28 tons. 28 tons to go with our original 17 tons equals a lot of tons, and that means I need to get all that trash dumped in here. But it also means that I need a storage, which is going to be this one. And I need to put you somewhere. I don't know where. So we're going to just guess that it goes there for now. Yep. And then I need to get iron ore processing. And we need to do 1, 2, 3. No, you're facing the wrong way. Rotate. Yep, you go there. And you go here. Cool. All right. So I need to get these guys in. Then from each one of these guys, they need to go to a storage. We're going to go for the big boy storage at this stage, which I'm going to put hopefully about here. And then I need to get the conveyor lift, same as we did last time. And these need to plug into both of these iron ore processors. Yup. Like so. And then into storage. And there's the autosave, and also into both of these. Nope, that missed. Okay, try again. Both of these and a conveyor into that actually works. Cool. All right, so that's my giant workforce so far. But next up, I really need to, well, put in the roads. Also, I need to put in the trash bins because we're going to have some large trash bins for all of these. And I need to actually make sure that my roads work and I can plug them into everywhere they need to go. So I've managed to fit in a couple of trash bins. It was actually not so bad. So this one, if we bring up the walk distance, can reach the one right below it. This one right here can actually reach both of them. The storage bin did get moved slightly, but that's perfectly fine. And this one can reach, obviously, the one right beside it. But I did run into a small snag, just a tiny one. And that is, well, I forgot that I need to get a road out here. Well, I didn't really forget, but I didn't realize that this is a ground level. And I've actually put in a bunch of the conveyors manually so we can see where they sort of line up, because the yellow is a little bit hard to see. But each one of these connections are at ground level. So I need to do two things. The first thing is I need to put in one of these to get things up and off the ground, which is easy enough. We can dump that in there. And then I can run this road to here. And then I also need to run a road through here for the incinerator. But that led me to this little gap here. And I've already stuck a technical service over here. But I'm like, it's so close to fitting that maybe I can fit a technical service in here. Because the more technical services I can fit in here, obviously the less I'm going to need on the outside. Because, you know, each one of these is making a truck worth of trash every single day. And the idea is we're going to take that truckload of trash and put it in here, at least for this little section. So I need to work out how to make sure that the trucks are going to get all that trash moved around quick enough, and also make sure I have enough technical officers to get all that done. So I need to just see whether I can just squeeze a few more things in before we make the next step over to steel. And this is exactly why the whole episode's full of jump cuts, because yes, it can be done. Sure, it might take me half hour to slide everything around just to the right amount of pixels that I can make everything touch the way I need it to touch, but it can be done. So we have our iron mine, which is going to output to a conveyor overpass to make sure we get the road through, road through, which will then take to storage. Storage is literally just a small buffer. It's only 2,000 tons. It's just a tiny amount, but mainly to distribute to these four guys. These four guys are going to output into their own conveyor overpass as well, which will dump into the main aggregate storage, where we're actually going to have iron, whereas prior to this we had iron ore. On top of that, don't forget we have all the trash from the iron mine on this factory connection into this dump, which will then get burnt. The output being, well, it's still considered mixed waste, but it's mainly ash. Hopefully mainly ash is then going to pop into this dump here, which is really bad for trucks to load at. So we're going to never ever have the trucks load at it, because it doesn't even have a way for the trucks to load efficiently. They have to get out with some shovels and shovel in the trash manually. So it's never going to happen. Then that's going to pass directly into the general separator, again via this factory connection, which will then separate out the construction waste and send it that way. Also, it should separate out any metal scrap we get. Now, it can only store 12 tons worth of metal scrap. I actually have no idea how much metal scrap we're going to get. In theory, there's a second factory connection that maybe I could work out a way to get out of here. Although, considering how dense and compact this is so far, I highly doubt it. Yeah. Also, you guys need a trash dump. I thought I got all the trash dumps in. Can I get a... that one. Yeah, just plug that in there, I guess. Yeah, because we have people working here. We also have people technically working here, but the incinerator... where are we? Incineration... The people don't produce trash in the incinerator. It just all magically disappears in the incinerator. Yeah, helps to have an incinerator at work. Over here at the general separator, they do produce trash, and if I don't give them a place to store it, well, then it's going to store outside the building, and then I need to clear it out. It might just flow through the factory connection, out to here? I don't know, but I'd prefer to just give them a bin. I can always remove the bin if I don't need the bin. We do have a technical service here and a technical service here, so I already have 2 in this little section of the build. There's also 1 over here, and I'm now looking at this space and maybe I can fit another one here, but that's a future JD problem, not right now JD problem. Okay, so this needs 250 workers, plus 50 for general separation, that's 300, plus 20 for the incinerator, so that's 320, plus I need another 30, 60, so that's 380 workers in just this little area. But that's gonna give us iron ore. Over here we have our coal ore in this giant bucket here. And then I have a conveyor overpass. Can I remove that one and remove that one and just grab one of these, and we're going to draw it in. This is easy to see. Oh, there you go. That's the wrong direction. That's an out. It's an out. Cancel. Can I get one of those? And yeah, double in. Can I have the ins at the front? Cool. And we need to face that like that way. See, this is why you double check things. Okay, so we have, let's draw them in. Oh, that's a double out again. I made the exact same mistake twice. That's a double out. That's a double in. Okay, double in it is. All right, we need a double in there. Okay, so this will take our iron plus our coal and bring it to a central point. From there, I need to get to steel. Now, steel, I can run 1.5 steel plants, okay? So 1.5 steel plants, and that is purely because of the sheer amount of iron that they consume. So they're going to use 200 tons worth of iron. Now, we've already worked out that I have 700 tons worth of iron ore, and then that basically halves into 350. Yeah, so I have about 350 tons worth of iron after it's been processed and cleaned and shinied up. So you need 200 tons worth of iron ore. So I can run one of these at flat out speed and the other one at half speed, which means I need to put, well, unlike the mines where I had to just fill them with as many workers as possible because the amount of ore they produce is dependent on the amount of workers they have. In this case, the amount that they consume and therefore the amount they produce is based on the number of workers. So I need to run one of these flat out and the other one at half capacity. So I need to have 2 steel mills, one with 500 workers and one with 250 workers. Also means all the stats are, 1.5%, well, 150%. So I'm going to be making, in theory, all said and done, I'll be making about 60 tons worth of steel per day. Now, there's going to be a couple of provisos to that because there are definitely some things I want to look at, but also they're going to produce another 11.6 tons worth of garbage per day, multiplied by 1.5 means about 15 tons worth of garbage per day. Now, I have a feeling with this, when it comes to steel mill, it's mostly going to end up, the trash, as metal scrap. I have a feeling the iron mine, we're going to have a substantial portion of it's going to be iron scrap, but definitely when we get to the steel plant, it's going to be all iron scrap, or a majority iron scrap. So I need to whack in 2 of these, and our plan is going to be a very, very complicated plan. We're going to have, I see the ground. Okay, so the ground's fairly level. We're going to have one, I'm going to work out there, and then flip, and one hopefully about here. Cool. Let's go there and there. All right. So with that done, I need to bring this guy over. And we're going to have him very, very far offset on one side. And I want to make sure... I'm hoping I can just draw in the conveyor rail in just a second. Okay, I want to bias one side. That gives me room to bring the road in on the other side. Please work, please work. Oh, it does work. Cool. All right, so we're going to bring in our conveyor right that, and then we're going to run a road connection to there and a road connection to there. That way I can bridge off here. Also means... Oh, this is going to be awkward. Also means you need to slide over. Okay, can I put you further apart? Actually, you don't need trash. No, you don't need trash. We'll put you further apart anyway, because I need to get power and all sorts of things in there. So you're going to go to there. Okay, you're going to have a road like that. And Really? I don't know if we need a connection on the inside. So these are going to have a couple of things. So first off, they actually need high voltage wires on the inside. So switch. Build a switch on the inside. We'll come back to that. I might need to slide this further over so I can get a road through here. But this is why this episode's full of jump cuts. So you don't get to see me spend an hour sliding this around by a couple of tiles, well, a couple of pixels, to make it connect. All right, so first plan is we need to deal with the trash. Okay, trash is always going to be number one, and that way it's over and done with, and we don't forget it. So what I want to do is put you in the middle of both of these guys, like so. I'm going to drag it out as far as possible. Come on, right there. Okay. Do I want the road up or down? Oh boy. I want the road down. Thanks, game. I really meant to zoom in on the ground like that. Like I said, I'm having CPU problems, and CPU problems and motherboard problems are bad because anything can go wrong at any second. Hence why, yes, I'm keeping the game paused. All right, so this is going to take out the trash. Now, this thing stores like 450 tons worth of mixed waste. I don't actually need that storage because we're going to be burning it straight away. But I do want a buffer, and I also want the rail connection. I want the rail connection so that way if I have a bottleneck, if I have a problem, I can have the rail distribution office hopefully linked up to every single one of these trash buckets with a simple command of come empty them should you have any problems. And now oh no, I can get out of that one. Oh gosh. Yeah, that's fine. These two are designed for rails. Yeah, it should be fine. It should be fine. It should be fine. All right. So, plan is, we're going to have the dump with claw machine. Okay, dump with claw machine is going to, as always, we're going to go straight into an incinerator. That way we get to get rid of mixed waste. Anything that's burnable, we can get rid of. I'm going to make you two face one another because it's just going to make my life easier if we just have a direct road connection from one to the other. Can I grab some road? I'm going to plug you to there. Cool. Now, after we've done this, same as last time, we're going to put this through a dump. Actually, no, we're going to go big scale. Yeah, I'm not buried in a build anymore. We have room to move, so I'm going to intentionally put in a big guy, but I need to put in the other one first. Okay, so we need to put you there. I need to flip you. I need to put you here. Okay. Our plan is another general separation, and I want, well, maybe that'll just work. Give me as much room as possible. Okay, that went further than I thought. All right, so I'm going to put you there. So you're going to bring both the trash from these guys, which is like, I don't know, what was it? 7.5 multiplied by 1.5, something like that. 11. So we'll call it 12 multiplied by 1.5, 18 tons. 18 tons worth of trash is going to come into here. 18 tons worth of trash is then going to pop over there. And then we're going to have less than 18 tons, which is going to pop out here. That 18 tons is then going to move into this guy, who can separate. On a good day, he can do 50 tons. But his limiting factor is going to be the metal scrap. The metal scrap I can only have 12 tons. So if we say out of the 18 tons, if a majority of it, a majority of it is all going to be, well, scrap metal, then this guy could be a bottleneck, and that storage might fill up every day. So I don't want to be in a position where I want to truck that out. I want to be in a position where we're going to take that straight away, and we're going to deal with it on site. So I want to have one of these guys directly connected like that. Now, normally this is an aggregate, so it goes through the conveyor. Can I flip you? Rotate, flip, 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 rotate, flip. Okay. Road connection that side, road connection that side. Okay. Yeah, so I need to have it go through the conveyor rather than factory connection. And as the steel recycling plant only has 2 factory connections, I want to use both of those. So we want to put you there. Cool. So that should give us, go away. So that should, where are we? Gravel, plastic, steel. So that should convert metal scrap to steel at a, 2-to-1 ratio. So it should be quite profitable. It is going to produce its own trash, which will then need to drive around and drop into, well, the incinerator or into this bucket to get moved in the incinerator. Either or, doesn't really matter. But you should be able to give us steel. That's the bottom line. Also, I need 750 workers for both these guys, plus I need 50 for the general separation, plus 20. So that's 750, 800, 820, plus another 30 here. So 850 workers, plus the 250, 300, 360, 380 here, plus the 700 there. The worker number's adding up real quick. Okay, next up, I need storage. So we're going to go for general cargo. We're going to go for storage. We're going to go for medium. Yes, no large. Okay, now I need to pile in storages, and I need to do this in the best way possible that I can plug into the metal recycling plant, because that's going to be very, very important, because I want to be able to pull out, I want to be able to store that metal, and I want to store it in a way where it's also connected to the steel storage. So we're going to start with the first one here. Now, this all needs road connections still, and we'll get to the road connections eventually, but I need the next one to be hopefully somewhere here. It doesn't look like you're going to connect. Okay, if I put you here manually, I can get that to go. Okay. But then there is no way I can get this one all the way up here. Right? Too long. Okay. Delete. Cool. Let's delete you. Let's put you here instead, because I think I can move you further forward. I want the road on the inside, outside. It probably won't matter too much for this one. Okay. Can I slide you forward slightly? Yes. Okay. And then I want one here. And no, I'm going to need the road connection on that side. And I sort of want to put you as tight and close as possible. Or do I want to put you... No, let's put you out here. And then just hope I can get a factory connection to line up. Yes. Okay, so that should give me steel from this plant. This plant's going to be our primary plant. This plant's the one I want to run at full capacity at all times. This one's the one we're not going to run at full capacity. In fact, we're barely going to be running this one because you have an alternative plan. We haven't got to the alternative plan yet. The alternative plan is hidden behind research, and that means I need to be able to do research, which means I need a computer not to crash, and I'm not confident yet in that happening. So we're going to leave that for a future episode. Let's put the train track on the outside. I'm only just realizing these have train tracks on just one side. Cool. I need you to plug in there. Can I see the train connections? No, we should be good. We should be good. Okay, so this is going to be our plan for steel. Now, I still need to get a whole bunch of roads in. I need to get all this connected together with roads. I also need to get in technical services office. As you can see, I have rails to deal with. So we have, we're going to have rails up here that we need to deal with. I need to deal with rails from the cement storage plant that also need to come out. I need to have access to both the rails in here. I also need to have access to get all this steel out. Technically, I don't need access for this for rails. Also, technically, I need, well, optionally, I can have rail connections in here, and we can use these different entrances and exits to do one of two things. I can either just, I can drop materials here. So I could bring over, steel mill. I could bring over both coal and iron. So if we find another iron node somewhere on the map, and we want to process it there, and then I ship it over, I can then park a train here, have it directly unload the iron into the building. In saying that, it is being fed via a conveyor So possibly I could get a train unload station down here instead and load it into storage, and then it processes from there, rather than directly loading it into the steel mill itself. That's an either or. We can jump that hurdle in the future. Same goes with coal. I'm producing about 700 tons worth of coal, and you guys are going to need 375. We're going to call it 400 for easy maths. I'm going to run the 150% capacity, so I'm going to need 400, 600 tons worth of coal every single day to keep both steel mills running. That 600 tons still leaves me about 100 tons left over, spare, and that 100 tons we're doing three things with. We are running it through, not to the gas power plant, 2 coal power plants. So we have 2 coal power plants here and here. They're going to both use 24 tons each. So that's going to be another 50 tons, we'll call it. So I'm at 650 tons. The other thing we're doing is we're running the cement plant. Now, cement plant can use 75 tons worth of coal per day. But it has a catch, and the small catch is it's going to be limited by the amount of gravel. And the amount of gravel we have is all dependent on how much this general separator and this general separator make in the way of construction waste, which we then convert from construction waste into gravel at a 66% conversion rate, and that's going to be our limiting factor. That's going to decide how much cement we make, and therefore how much we put in the bucket, and therefore how much we export, because it's really just designed to make sure I can get rid of the construction waste from this whole area repeatedly and constantly and all that sort of stuff. But what I need to do is I need to hook up all the roads and put in some train tracks, and we still haven't got power or water or a bunch of things done yet. So yeah, give me just one more minute. So this brings us to our semi-final design. I'd like to say it's final, but I have a feeling that I'm going to have to tweak and move some things because we haven't got to, well, the services yet, like power, water, poop, and also workers. We're going to need a lot of workers, but let's just go through things once more very, very quickly. Yeah, I've already said a mistake. Okay. All right, so first thing is, let's start with the coal mine. So coal mine, over here. We need to run both of the coal mines. Both the coal mines need 220 workers each, so that means I need a total of 440 workers in here. Plus, they're going to produce 32 tons worth of waste between the two of them. Where are we? Cool. 220 workers each and 16.1 tons each. We're going to call it 16 tons each. We're going to call it 32 tons total. They're going to pass the waste into this claw machine, dump the claw machine, where they're going to promptly incinerate. So when we incinerate it, we're going to need another incinerator. Incinerator is going to need another 20 people. So we're at 440 plus 20, which is 460. Yep, maths is hard. And then from there, that's going to, incinerate everything. And then it's going to output everything ash included directly into the general separator, which is going to need another 50 workers. So that brings it up to, I don't know, whatever the maths is. And you're going to take that and you're going to output that into 2 different claw machines. Well, dumps with claw machine. Yep, hoping that that's enough space for things to dissipate. Being that the fact you're running it 30 out of 60, maybe it's enough, maybe it's not, but either way, I need to get train tracks in here to give us an alternative place to dump things. Now, in saying that, probably that one's the better example. I have a small problem with above ground. A small problem with a small giant hill here. Yeah, I can probably get a rail track in, but I also need to get a second F4, please. A second rail track in here, and that's when things start looking awfully icky. Yeah, that's literally a rail on the side of a mountain, and then this one won't go in, and this brings me back to my problem. Yeah, I can do it in lots of short stints, but that's going to be problematic long term. So we need to, I need to just flatten out a bit of a hill again. But that's going to be stage 1. So stage 1 is actually getting the coal ore. The general separator is going to output into this conveyor, which is going to link to the other conveyor, which we'll get to shortly, over here, and should end up giving us gravel to here, except somebody, not going to mention any names, may have forgotten in one of the modifications to put in the gravel recycling plant to actually convert the construction waste into gravel. And you need to live like here, and then yeah, cancel road. Oh, actually, there's a possibility. Cancel road. No, cancel you. Okay, there's a possibility I can. Remove you, remove you. Yes, I really wish to demolish. Yes. I want you to be a. That's ends at that end. It's probably not gonna work for me. And now I can't put you back exactly where you were. Yeah, okay. So you'll have to go to there. Cool. I'll have to work out that so it actually works and actually makes sense. But the plan is we're going to have gravel here. So at this point, I'm up to 440 workers in the mines, plus 20 here. No, plus 20 here, 40 here. And then I also have the coal ore processing. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these guys, each needing 15 workers each. Where is fossil fuels, coal ore processing? They're going to need 15 workers each, which is another 90 workers, which means I'm up at 525 workers for just the coal half. Also, these guys are going to produce 5 tons worth of waste. I have 6 of them, so that's another 30 tons to go with my 32 tons, which means I'm actually producing 62 tons worth of waste out of just coal. And if we remember, my incinerator only burns 60 tons per day. So we may have to tweak things just there slightly. And technically they're not all running at full speed, so we're probably going to be okay. By the same token, I might just have to empty some of these garbage bins into a different incinerator. We do have garbage services in for each one of these in pairs or singles, whichever it happens to be, to make sure that they all have their own garbage services. Also thrown in a couple of technical officers. We have, no, power plants we'll come back to. Then we'll move on to iron. So iron. Very, very similar story. We're going to need iron. I'm going to need 250 workers this time. You're going to make 17.5 tons worth of waste and 4 tons worth of iron ore per worker, which would be 1,000 tons multiplied by our efficiency, which is only the source efficiency, I guess, which is only 69%. Nice. So that leaves us about 700 tons. As for the waste first, so we have 250 workers, which are going to dump 17 tons worth of waste in here, which is probably going to get burnt for another 20 workers, which then go to a little dump, just a tiny dump, which might have some ash dissipate. Realistically, I just couldn't get the factory connection from here to here in one shot. So we had to add an intermediate. And there is dump medium, dump small. There is a dump small, and I could have put a dump small in, but a dump small only holds 80 tons, whereas the big one holds 270. I don't think storage size is going to be an issue, so what the hell? Pretty much what it boils down to. So you're going to hold the waste, and then you're going to move it onto the general separator, which should pull out the construction waste and then push out the mixed waste plus the ash to here. Now, anything that's full in the other category for waste can get cycled back in and just burnt off. So it's something we're going to have to set up. But the ash, we just need to dissipate, which means we can't really run things flat out unless I build multiple storages like we had to in Smolgrovsky, where you have, well, ash and other, because we've already cleaned out the construction waste and the metal scrap prior to this point. So this has got all sorts of stuff in it. When it's here, it's just ash and other. And then I've had to move it on to the next spot where, in theory, all the ash does dissipate. Yeah. What composition this actually is, I don't know. But the bottom line is all the other waste can be burnt a second time, and then we destroy 70% of that. The ash, if you burn it, you destroy exactly 0 of it. It just passes straight through because obviously ash is not terribly good at burning. unless we apply more heat. So we might have to set up some sort of system like this where we have trucks moving things around and just to give them more space to dissipate over time. But that's a future JD problem. As for these guys, they're going to iron ore processing. They're going to also produce another 6.8 tons. We're going to call it 7 tons worth of trash each, which is another 7, 14, 28 tons to go with our original 17, which means you sir need to burn 45 tons worth of waste per day, which is pretty high. It's an awful lot. It could lead to problems. I can definitely see, the more I think about it, the more I'm realizing I'm probably going to end up having to hook in train tracks to some of these. If I can even get train tracks into some of these. Yep. 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 Not a hope. Not a hope. Hence, more rearranging might happen. Otherwise, we could use a lot of trucks, but I'd prefer having a train. That way, I can have a oh shit button and send the train over to pick up everything. So, this is going to produce, like I said, 45 tons worth of waste. Also, it's going to need the 250 workers for the iron mine, 50 for the general separator, 20 for the incinerator, plus it's going to need another 60 for ore processing, which means I'm at a total of 380 workers. That feels low. 250, 50 is 300, 330, 360 plus 20, 380. No, 380. 380 for this one, and yet coal is 525. All right. So after we have our iron and we have our coal, iron's going to go in this bucket. Coal's going to go this bucket. They're going to merge together and come over here to steel. Steel, we have this one. So steel is going to need 500 workers multiplied by 1.5 because we're on one plate flat out and the other one at half speed, which means I need 750 workers to go with all the other workers we need. Plus, this has a lot more steps to the process. I need to have, 50 for the general separator, so it brings up 800. Plus, I need to have another 20 for the incinerator. Plus, we're going to need steel recycling is going to need another 30. So we're at 800 plus 20 plus 30 is 850. And then I need to have, we're going to have 2 power plants as well, 2 coal power plants here and here, which are going to need 20 apiece. Yep, so it's going to bring us up to 800, 850, 890. And then the last one is the coal plant, cement plant rather, which needs another 30. So I'm at 910 workers for the steel parts. Yes, which my 920 for steel plus my 380 for iron, 380, 920 is 400, 1300, plus my 525 for coal is 1825 workers to run all of this. And then I need 3 shifts per day. So we just need to multiply it by a factor of 3, which now means I need like 6,000 people to run all this. Okay, so I need to find 6,000 people. Unemployment rate of 1%. I have exactly 188 people that are not employed in the Republic. I also have 380 people that are over the age of 21 without a flat, which technically I should probably subtract before I look at unemployment. Or I should build them flats, but I don't need any more workforce in locations I have flats currently. So that means we need a new town. We also need to finish off with steel because steel has a few more steps. Obviously going to be providing. It's like a nice way of saying giving us. I'm going to go with 12 tons worth of trash multiplied by 1.5, which is then 16 tons. 12 half, 18 tons. 18 tons worth of trash. Plus, we have the power plants, which produce nothing, just the tiny bit the workers produce. But we do have the cement power plant, which is going to do another 7 tons. So I have 18 plus 7 is 25, plus iron, which was 45, plus this, which was 62 technically. So I think all said and done, I have 132 tons worth of trash produced every day. Yeah. I'm gonna need a lot of technical services. An awful lot. Like an awful lot. I considered putting in cable lifts to deal with all the trash and have everything just shipped out of the area. And then I started looking at the process of doing that and decided no, because that's the other thing we haven't looked at, and that's the process of getting people in. I need to get 1,825 people into this build every day, which means I need a brand new town. I need a brand new town that's going to be somewhere close to this. Also, this is somewhat spread out. So between this top section here and I guess the iron mine is 1,150 meters. Between, I guess, you and you is just on 1,000 meters. Let's go with you, and you is 1,100 meters as well. Yeah, so it's an awful large section to get an awful lot of workers in. And also have an awful lot of workers. Well, technically I don't need to get out, because here in the Republic I only provide transport one way. You get transport to work and then you get to walk home. It's a feature. So yes, we have put in some of the train infrastructure. So I need to get, like I said, train tracks up here and plug these guys in. You, I don't think I need to plug in. You, I'm hoping I don't have to plug in. You, I will have to plug in. Obviously we need to plug in both steel mills. And I want to plug in, well, this storage, and this storage. I also want to plug in that one. Oh, you're also going to be steel. But you're going to be steel we're not going to be talking about right now. So yeah, I got to work out how we're going to get people in here. I can tell you, and this is why you should, even though today's episode has been full of nothing but jump cuts, and on top of that, it's probably going to be a little bit shorter, because we can't actually run the game, so we can't even get the roads built or anything at the moment. But I'm going to tell you, you really, really want to come back for a future episode, because we're going to be doing it with a metro. I figure a metro is our only hope. If I look at road vehicles for citizens, if we get a bus station, which is massive, it'll hold 2,000 workers. So I can have everybody show up for their shift, load on buses and go to work. The problem is the biggest bus we have only holds 100 people. So I need 20 buses showing up all the time, which would make this a traffic nightmare. If I went for trams, which are 150 or 200 workers waiting at the station ready to get on, which is not going to really work for me either. If we go for citizens, for cargo, is it under people? No. Rail for citizens. Okay. If we go for a train station, I have a 500, I have a 900, but I have a metro station at 600. We have a metro platform without entrance, which, well, probably doesn't help me because the entrance is underground, so we're going to ignore that one. We have a metro above ground. We have a metro above ground large at 900. I have a large train station. But if I run trains, they're above ground, which means I need to get into this mess with a couple of unload stations. And they could be, well, for citizens, they could be fairly tiny, but that doesn't change the fact that I still also need to get the train tracks in and out. You're a ground level station. So metros, we have a ground level station, which is on the surface. We have another ground level station, a smaller version. I could use the smaller version for the drop off. I have an above ground station, large. Okay, they're both larges. Okay. Is that the right one? Yes. Okay. So I can put you're above ground, you're raised up. That means I get roads underneath, not a problem. And then finally, there is the above ground small version. So we have some options. But fitting them in is, and there's also this one, which is completely underground, which I'm sort of a fan of. Above ground, metro platform without entrances. Technically, that's below ground as well. technically. Yeah, I am a fan of the metro station with just the ball on top, the globe, the round flying saucer. Yeah, but this is where I'm going to leave this episode. We've got an idea, we've got a plan, but until I have people to run the plan, it's pointless me building the plan. Also, I should mention that yeah, due to PC stability issues, I don't really want to unpause the game and see if I magically lose several hours worth of progress. Because although I have autosaves, it's not really autosaves when you come to recording a video. So I'm going to leave this video here. Next video is going to be building a town. We need to build a brand new town. It's going to have to be nice and close. So probably somewhere in this area. We also have to be very careful of pollution. I have no idea how bad it is over here, but I'm pretty sure the answer is pretty bad. But either way, I'm going to leave this video here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode where we build a town to make the make the steel mill make steel. Yep, that's it. I'm out. See you next one. Bye.